Well, we're going through some records today and cleaning some, sorting them out. I mentioned in a previous video, you have to be careful when you clean records because some of them don't have solid cores. It's not black shellac all the way through. And here is a good example. This is a Columbia. And if you look here on the edge, right there, if I can get the camera to focus, this little chip right there, that shows a very thin shellac veneer over a paper or possibly paper and plaster core. You get water on that, it travels into the record, swells up, cracks that thin veneer, and it's done. This record's done anyway, pretty much. It may play, but it's in pretty rough shape. You can see it's already suffering the effects of dampness. It is having spider cracks all through the veneer. On this side, you can see it. One of them had it a little bit better. So this is not something you want to immerse in water. Good picture of the label so you know. This Columbia, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure about. I don't have any broken ones here. But if you look at the chip here, that is actually showing that it is solid through and through with the with black shellac. Now I don't know if every Columbia label of this type is like that. Some of them might be veneered also. A little sandwich of black shellac, paper or plaster, paper mache, who knows what they have in there. And you don't want to get those wet. With something like that, you would just give it a gentle wipe. Just wipe it down with a lightly dampened cloth. You don't want to get water down into the grooves. Just wipe off the dust. It's really the best you can do. Now here's another one with an even bigger chip, and you can see easily that that's paper showing right through. There's almost no shellac there at all. Wartime shortages, and if you look here, I don't know if that'll show on camera, this whole section, if I can get it to catch the light, you'll see it. It's all cracked and raised from the inside. That's not done from the outside. That's inside cracking caused by swelling. At some point, dampness got in there. Who knows where and when, how long ago, but this is no longer a playable record. And it's unfortunate, but that happens. Badly scratched, too. But it wouldn't have made a difference in that case because once it's swelled like that, there's really nothing you can do about it. Get those out of the way. Now, take a Victor like this, typical late teens, early 20s. This is solid black shellac. This can survive being immersed in lukewarm water. Do not do that too much because the label can lift. What I generally do is I run it under the tap, get it wet, take a toothbrush and some mild Dawn liquid detergent and scrub the grooves and quickly wash it off and then dry it immediately. That so far has not damaged any labels. I've even managed to clean a few labels doing that. These are solid. These will not swell. There's nothing inside. These are black shellac through and through. These are the highest quality records manufactured in the United States from 1900 until at least the mid-20s. At least for construction. I don't know about content, but the way they're put together. Solid material. And these older records with that Batwing label, these all have the grit that they eliminated in 1935 when they really didn't have too many acoustic machines being used anymore. They'd all moved over to electric stylus and all of that stuff. But these are your typical Victrola records right here. And they're good. You can clean these, and you should if they're dirty. If not, don't get carried away. If there's no reason to clean them, don't. If they're visibly filthy, then you have to. Because it really doesn't help much to play a record that is loaded with dirt. It's no good for the record. It's no good for the needles. It's no good for anything. Brunswick, I'm not entirely sure of. I believe these are solid core, but I don't know for sure. So I confine myself to wipe downs on these ones. Just to be sure. Eventually I'll come across a broken one, and I can look, one with this label on it, and I can look and see if it's cracked or if it's got the solid core or not. Obviously, I'm not going to do that with a good record. And here's an even earlier one. These, I believe, are pre-1914. Really old ones, number 5611. They're a low number. But these ones are also solid core. All these early records are. I don't know if they even had the technology available. These are single side. Don't even know if they had the technology available at that time to make, a kind of a sandwich record with paper, plaster in the middle. Let's see if we can get a February 1st, 1908 is the patent date. That is not the date they actually made this record. I really don't know when that was. My guess be sometime between 1911 and 1914, somewhere in there. I'm not really a record collector, so I don't really know too much about the history of the records themselves, except I know which ones play at what machines. And these ones, look at that nice purple label. These ones, of course, play on Victrolas, and this one's early enough for old, original outside horn machines. Single side. These older ones are usually single side. Later on, it was only the premium performers that were single side. Your Enrico Caruso, Alma Gluck, people like that. They got a single sided record. Everybody else, popular music of the day, got double sided. But this one was a filthy mess, so that had to be clean. All of these records are here drying. Actually, they were all cleaned one way or another. There's another purple Victor over there. But I just wanted to show that. You know, I was talking the other day about possible, damage that can happen to records if you're not careful by getting them wet. Here's another one that I was unsure of. It's the Decca. So I very carefully cleaned that one with a damp cloth and avoided immersing it in water because I don't know what might happen. When in doubt, just wipe it down. That's all. And don't get it too wet. If there's any doubt at all. Otherwise, once these are gone, they're gone. Nobody's pressing new records of 78s, 10 and 78s that I'm aware of. I understand they are doing 33 RPM long play records, but so far as I'm aware, no one's doing any runs of these 78s. So when they're gone, good luck. You'll have to start searching eBay for a replacement and hope you find one with a decent sound. So always be careful with them. And of course, handle them with care too. Don't bang them around. These do shatter. These are not like the LPs where you can bend them like a flapjack or whatever and they're fine. If you whack this into something or you bend it or try something, it will break. And if you use too hot a liquid on it, you will melt it. And it'll, just like leaving it in the sun. Don't leave them in the sun either. And what I generally do with these, right now you see me stacking them like this, but that's not how you store records. You store them on edge, in a sleeve. I bought brand new sleeves for these. In a sleeve. I like to use milk crates. I line the milk crate with insulating board. Basically styrofoam board used for insulating homes underneath siding and stuff like that. I'd buy it by the sheet. I have quite a few sheets left here actually. I just cut them to size, line the milk crate with it, and then fit about 110 or so records in each 10-inch records in each milk crate. I use the shorter milk crates, not the long ones, because let's face it, 110 records is pretty heavy. 250, which will probably fit in the big ones, you're not going to want to lift that. That's going to be a lot. See, I'm going to spread them out a little bit. And in fact, it's right there. That milk crate right there. Small one, short one. That's it. Just a short word on the records while I had that good example out. There was one there that was unfortunately really badly cracked. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, where is it? Maybe it's the one on the bottom. Oh, yeah. This is National Music Lovers of New York. I think this was Heinemann's label. I'm pretty sure it was. Otto Heinemann in the city, but New York City. That one's cracked badly. Not from swelling. This one appears to have a solid core. Let's spread it just a little bit. Yeah, I don't see any paper or paper mache in there like that. This was a solid record. I might even still be able to play that. I'm going to try later, but that's a really bad crack. That's what could happen with these records, so you got to be real careful with them. And who knows what music was on there. We had the Master Melody Makers, dance music. National Music Lovers in New York. I have quite a few of these records. I think they came in those sets where you bought, one a week or something like that they sent them to you and you, whatever. Kind of like a book club, just a record club. I think it was something like that. But there you go. There's a look at some records. And of course, I'll look at the 102 side by side if you like. This is the 1936 102C and the original early 102, pre-1935 with the metal motorboard. One thing I noticed I hadn't noticed before, the 102C actually has a larger case. They expanded the case when it went to the wooden motorboard and the separate horn. So that's one little note I've made. All right.